Okay, good morning guys. Welcome back to my channel. First of all, I want to apologize for my voice. I'm sure that my voice sounds terrible and I do apologize for that. I am just getting over a horrible cold and I feel like I have been hibernating like a bear this last week because I got really sick with a cold. I had to take time off of work, which was actually probably a good thing because I had no energy for anything. I literally felt so sick. I did a lot of sleeping. I did a lot of taking NyQuil. I did a lot of drinking tea and sitting around and doing nothing because I felt so sick. And I'm just coming out the other end of it now, and I'm starting to feel like I have a little bit more energy, but I still don't sound 100%. So I do apologize for my voice, but I refuse to sit around and do nothing anymore because this last week has been super depressing for me, like so depressing. I'm pretty sure I suffer from seasonal affective disorder, and it has been getting dark really early. Like by 6:30, 7 o'clock, it's dark here. It literally feels like it should be 10 o'clock at night or 11 at night, and it's only 7 p.m. And for some reason, that just messes with me and makes me feel super down and depressed. And I get very moody and I have less energy to do things. And also where I live in Canada, this particular region of Canada looks like winter outside. Like we went from beautiful fall, like pretty pumpkin, leaves on the ground kind of weather where it was really crisp outside and a little bit cool. But there was still green grass and the pavement was still clear and some of the trees still had leaves on them. And it was like this beautiful fall weather. And it went from that literally to a winter wonderland, if you want to call it that, literally in the blink of an eye. And yeah, so this last week being stuck inside, no voice, not even if I had the energy to make a video, I couldn't have because I didn't have a voice. And then being laid up at home sick and the winter weather outside has been just like so hard for me. I just struggle really badly when I cannot be productive, when I cannot go to the gym and work out, if I don't get out and see people and socialize a little bit. Like I'm not a super social person. I don't want to go to huge dinners and huge parties. That's not the kind of person I am. But I need to at least get out and see people. I need to see other people. I need to see faces. I need to hear voices. I need to feel like I'm part of society. And this past week, aside from my wonderful boyfriend who's been able to visit me, I've felt like I've just been totally removed from, and I was not on Instagram either because I decided to quit Instagram or to take a break from Instagram. So you can imagine, I literally felt like the loneliest human on the planet and it sucked. And it was really hard for me. And I do not fare well in those kind of conditions. So even though my voice isn't 100%, you guys, I'm officially legally allowed to leave my house. I'm no longer sick. I can actually go out and be around people. I have to go to work today to do an education thing, so that's going to happen. And I was like, I need to make a video. I can no longer sit around and feel like a bear hibernating. Let me know if you suffer also from seasonal affective disorder and if you've tried anything that has helped. I think I'm going to up my vitamin D intake. And I'm also thinking about getting one of those sunrise lamps, like those alarm clock lamps that simulate a sunrise so that it can feel like the sun is actually rising at like 6 in the morning. I don't know if that would be helpful for me. The other trouble is because I work shift work, there's no good way to manage my sleep. Like the best thing would be to get on a normal routine and to go to bed at a certain time and wake up at a certain time. But for me, there's no good way to manage it because I work shift work. So it's like I might get into a routine and then I will ruin the routine next week. And then I'll have to get back into a routine the week after. So I really don't know what the answer is. Shift work year round is hard, but it's really hard in the winter because you don't get to see daylight pretty much. You wake up in the dark and you go to sleep in the dark and you work all night in the dark and it just sucks. So yeah, nursing in hindsight was probably not the best profession for somebody like myself who doesn't thrive on inconsistency, somebody who thrives on routine and having a normal routine. Like there's no such thing. So anyway, that's the here and the now and the what and the who and the when and the where and the why. Let's get into today's video. Yeah, so I've just made myself a fresh cup of coffee and we're going to get into today's video. And today's video is going to be if I had to start my perfume collection over from scratch, say I was a normal person who did not have any perfumes and I wanted to start my collection over from scratch, or say for some reason all of them got destroyed somehow, or all the bottles fell off the shelf and broke, or something like that, and I had to start my collection over from scratch, which perfumes would I pick and why? I think if I didn't have any perfumes at all, I would probably only want about 3 to 5. But for the purposes of today's video, I will choose 5 just to give it a nice round, even number. I will tell you which 5 perfumes I would choose if I had to start over from scratch. These would be the ones I would go with, and I would probably not buy any more than that. You know, I'd probably just go with those 5 and I'd be happy with it. I think the reason I have more than that now is because I've, over the last couple of years, had so many perfumes come through my doors due to my channel, and so I've had to whittle them down and whittle them down. So I just haven't gotten to that number yet, and I don't know if I will, because I love the ones I have, and I have about 10 currently. But yeah, so without further ado, you guys, let's get into today's video. And if you haven't already, I would love if you would consider subscribing. You can also feel free to head over and follow me on Instagram. I did decide to reinstate my Instagram, but I am going to try to use it more carefully, more mindfully, and with less consumption, and try to just spend less time on the platform in general, which I think will be easier to do going forward because I've taken like a 3-week break. And so yeah, I think it'll be easier for me to ease into it. But yeah, let's get into today's video, you guys. This is the best coffee, by the way, you guys. The Craft Cafe Barista. It is so good. I ran out and I tried another type of coffee. I think the grounds are too fine for French press. Like, you're supposed to use a coarser ground for French press. These ones are medium, I think. But so it can make your coffee a little kind of dusky. I don't know how to say it, but there can be like some residue at the bottom of your cup, which doesn't bother me too much. But anyways, but the taste of the coffee itself is actually fantastic. Definitely try the Craft Barista coffee. If you do drip coffee, if you have just a normal coffee maker, if you use the reusable K-cups, and even for French press, it's pretty good. It is so, like, it's my new favorite coffee, I think. You guys, this is literally the first day the sun has come out in a week. Oh my gosh, I feel like somebody's pulling the wool from over my eyes and I can finally see again. I have been so depressed this week, I can't even tell you. Oh, winter sucks, man. Winter sucks. But I'm grateful that we get a lot of snow because we also have a lot of water and all that stuff. So I have to be grateful. You have to remind yourself to be grateful. Okay, so going in no particular order, you guys, the first perfume that I would grab, actually, I'm going to probably save my favorites till last. And the first perfume is Gabrielle Essence from Chanel. The reason that I picked this perfume, even though I haven't really worn it a lot this year, like I hardly wore it at all during the summer, and I haven't worn it at all, obviously, fall, winter. It's not a very fall, winter type of perfume, although I think that you could wear it year round and it could be a signature scent if you really wanted it to. But I chose this one as part of my 5 because I would need something kind of lighter and fresher and fruitier for the summertime. And a lot of my other perfumes I chose in this top 5 are more vanilla based or woody based. They're a little bit deeper. That is just my perfume preference. My scent profile preference is a warm, kind of a woody, sweet, resinous vanilla kind of thing. But I did know that I would need something for the summertime, so that's why I chose this one. So this has been a favorite perfume of mine for a long time. I prefer this to the original Gabrielle, although the original Gabrielle is also very beautiful. And this is a classic, feminine, fruity, floral kind of fragrance. It's got yellow flowers in it. It's got white flowers. It has some fruity notes. It has a little bit of vanilla in the base. You've got citruses, you've got peach, you've got white flowers, tuberose, jasmine, orange blossom, coconut, musk, sandalwood. There is a lot going on in this fragrance. Yeah, my sense of scent right now is a little bit off because of my cold, but I can still smell this. And yeah, it is a very beautiful fragrance. It's very classic, it's very elegant, it's very light. It's not a super heavy, offensive kind of a scent. It's not going to give anybody a headache or bother your nose or anything. It's not as strong as something like Coco Mademoiselle or Chanel No. 5 or something like that. And I've always told people that if they're looking for a Chanel perfume that is classic and elegant and doesn't smell dated and smells a little bit more modern and can be worn by all ages, this is the one. This is the one that I love. So this is Gabrielle Essence from Chanel, and that is in my number 5 spot. The next perfume was a pretty easy reach, and this is Armani Prive Santal Dancha. This is a fragrance I've been talking about since the beginning of the year. I had smelled this when I was down in the States, like almost a year ago, and I remember it really intrigued me. I really liked it, but I didn't spend enough time with it that day to really know if it was something I would want, and also I didn't know if I wanted a sandalwood dominant perfume in my collection. However, I ended up buying a bottle anyways, and this has become a favorite perfume of mine, you guys. I love sandalwood. Santal 33 from Le Labo is one that I still kind of want, and I might one day have. Although Santal 33 I find a little bit more dry, a little bit more creamy. This one here is a little bit fresher and a little bit lighter, and I always tell people this is kind of a slightly fresher take on a sandalwood perfume for summer. And although I think it could go unisex, I do think it definitely leans feminine. So this is a beautiful, kind of a sparkling, elegant take on a sandalwood perfume. It's a little bit spicy. You do have some cardamom in here. You also have some elemi and some olibanum. You have dreamwood, which I'm not sure what dreamwood smells like. You have Virginia cedar. You have violet leaf. You also have a heavy dose of bergamot. It's also quite musky. And yeah, this is just an absolutely stunning, stunning perfume. I also think that with sandalwood just smells very expensive. I think if you put sandalwood with anything, it just elevates it and makes it smell a little bit more expensive. This one is beautiful layered with vanilla perfumes. I actually used to wear this one layered with Poison Girl from Dior, which I no longer have, but that was a beautiful combination. This one also layers well with Black Opium. It layers well with Kayali Vanilla. It layers well with pretty much any vanilla-based fragrance. And it just smells super, super elegant and expensive, and it just elevates your look and makes you feel more posh. It's definitely the classiest perfume in my entire collection, I would say, is this one. So yeah, if you're looking for a wearable sandalwood, definitely do check this one out. Yeah, like I say, in comparison to Santal 33, Santal 33 has leather in it. It's not as fresh. There's no bergamot, I don't think, in Santal 33. I could be wrong, but I don't think that there is. It's not fresh. It's more of that creamy, kind of dry, almost goes in that more dill pickly kind of direction. This one for me is a little bit more it's a little bit fresher. It's a little fresher and a little bit more transparent and not so heavy and not so creamy and not so rich. And they're both great for different reasons. My boyfriend loves Santal 33 actually for himself, and I might prefer this one for myself, but one day I may have Santal 33, I don't know. I've been really tempted lately to buy perfumes, not as much so as in previous days, but I have had that little bit of a itch to buy perfumes lately, but I have not acted on them, and Santal 33 was one of them. So maybe one day when I have some extra money and I decide I do want to bring another perfume into my collection, I might bring back Santal 33, but for now this one is doing me just fine and I really, really enjoy it. Number 3 on my list is Black Opium Le Parfum. This perfume is very similar to all of the other Black Opiums, but this one is like an overdose of vanilla. This one has more vanilla than any of the other Black Opiums. I think there's actually 2 or 3 different types of vanilla in here. Otherwise, it smells very similar to the other Black Opiums. It's got that typical kind of pear, vanilla, coffee. I think jasmine is in here as well, that kind of fragrance. But then in here, they've also thrown in some solar notes, which makes it smell a little bit brighter and lighter and kind of like a hug. I always tell people that to me, solar notes smell like a hug on a warm summer day, and then also a little bit kind of nutty or almondy. That to me is what I get from solar notes. And this one is definitely my favorite of all the Black Opiums. And this one I love because it is just so easy to wear. It's a very, very easy grab and go. I bring this with me when I go away on the weekends. If I have to go out of town for a few days, or if my boyfriend and I are just getting away for a couple of days, just the two of us, I will often throw this in my bag and bring it because, first of all, the shape of the bottle is so versatile and so easy. You can just stick it into any overnight bag. It's very easy to pack. I don't feel like it's going to break. The lid or the cap stays on really well. And then also because it's just such an easy wearable fragrance. The way that my clothes smell, you guys, after I've worn this for a day is just heavenly. This is the perfect like fall winter scent. Yeah, it's cozy. It's enjoyable. Actually, it's reminding me right now of a Chapters bookstore, because that's the last place I wore this, was to a Chapters bookstore, and it was on a beautiful chilly fall day. It was just perfect. I had my Starbucks and I was looking at books and I was wearing a cashmere sweater. This was my perfume of the day, and yeah, it just smells wonderful. And I get compliments on this one as well. I've got compliments from people I barely know on this perfume, and you can't see it because the bottle is opaque, but if you could see, I wish I could see. I think if you could see where the line is at, it's probably about a quarter gone. Like, I've used at least a quarter of this bottle, which is really good for me. So this one I did purchase when it first came out, and I'm definitely not disappointed. If you like vanilla, even if you're not a fan of the original Black Opiums, this is definitely one still to check out because it's the most far removed from all the other Black Opiums, I think. This one goes much more in a sunny, summertime, solar, vanilla direction. It's quite unique and it's quite beautiful. Okay, I'm trying to keep my vocal cords moisturized with my coffee so that I don't lose my voice. In my number 4 spot, or I guess second from the top, wait a minute, am I going backwards? Okay, I guess this is my number 2 spot. So second from first place, you could say, is Kayali Vanilla 28. So look at that dent, you guys. I'm seriously going through this bottle so quickly. This has been one of my most reached for perfumes as of late. And this is a beautiful ambery brown sugar vanilla fragrance. So this is a little bit woody. It's a little bit kind of boozy. This is a very old bottle, so the juice is really, really old, and that's why it looks so dark. And this is one of my most complimented perfumes. It's one of my favorite perfumes. It's one of my easy reach perfumes. It's one of my best layering perfumes. It literally layers well with almost everything you want to layer it with. And it's just a really great, it's just a really great vanilla perfume. There's not much else to say about it but that. I think that that's why this makes it onto my list, because it is probably my favorite vanilla perfume of all time. And also it is just such an easy grab and go. So yeah, not much else to say about it. I'm not going to talk about it at length because everybody has smelled this. Everybody knows what it smells like. It's a very good blind buy, very good gift idea. Everybody likes this, all ages. I honestly don't think I've met anybody who doesn't like this perfume. I really don't. And this one for me actually won out over multiple other vanillas when I was doing my perfume declutters. I actually decluttered Spiritus Double Vanille from Guerlain, which is considered to be one of the best vanillas on the market. I've decluttered Indult Tihoda. I've decluttered Maslari Vanilla. Every vanilla perfume that I've ever had, except for, I guess, Black Opium could be considered, and my Louis Rouge, I've decluttered for this perfume. So that tells you how good it is. It has withstood the test of time. Over the last 2 or 3 years that I've been doing perfume content, and every single declutter I've done, this perfume has always made it through. And I've never second guessed it. I've never thought, should I get rid of it? Should I keep it? It's just a great one for life. And this would definitely be one of the first ones I would go out and grab if I had to start my perfume collection over. And in my number 1 spot, nobody will be surprised by this. This is Mon Guerlain from Guerlain. This is the perfume that if I thought there was one perfume that every woman should own, except I kind of don't want every woman to own it because then all of us will smell the same and that would be really boring. And it's kind of nice for us to have individuality. But theoretically, if somebody said, what is the one perfume you think every woman should own? This would be the one. If you're looking for a gift idea for anybody in your family this upcoming holiday season or for somebody's birthday, aside from kids, I think that young kids might not wear it for themselves, but they like the way it smells. But this would be the perfume. So this is a little bit more of a mature perfume. It's very feminine. It's very elegant. Its key notes are lavender and vanilla, but there's also licorice in here. There's also sandalwood, and there's a whole bunch of other notes as well, actually. So it has a little bit of this kind of soft, subtle, feminine spice to it, a little bit of a licoricey kind of an undertone, but not to the point that it smells straight up like licorice. It just gives it that trademark Guerlain smell, that trademark Mon Guerlain smell that makes it different from any other lavender vanilla that's out there. It is primarily a vanilla perfume. Yeah, it's a vanilla perfume. It's also quite aromatic. The lavender really comes through. It's very relaxing. It's very calming. This is my number 1 most complimented perfume ever in my entire collection. And I don't wear perfumes for compliments. I genuinely love this perfume. But this is the type of perfume that I have literally, you know how you hear people say that people will stop them and ask them to write down the perfume? I thought, well, that sounds crazy. Does that actually happen? it happens with this one. So I have actually had at least 2 people stop me and ask me, what is the perfume you're wearing? That smells beautiful. You smell really nice. And ask me to write it down for them so that they could get it for somebody that they knew. People tell me when I wear this that I smell just really, really nice. I smell really soft. They just say it smells very soft and very nice. That's how they put it. And it just never fails. People will come out of the room and say, hey, just so you know, like, you know, my dad, when you left, he said, wow, that girl smells really, really nice, you know, and he didn't want to say anything. And it's kind of like, yeah, you know that people smell you when you wear this, and that's a really nice feeling. It's a really nice feeling to know that people think you smell really good. I don't know. It's just like, it's the best compliment that you can get. Yeah, it's feminine, it's beautiful, it's soft, it's relaxing, it's comforting. It's familiar. It smells the way a mother should smell. It smells the way a special woman in your life, the most beloved woman in your life. That's how this smells. And it's one of my favorite perfumes. It's one that I genuinely just enjoy wearing so much. And if I could only keep one perfume for the rest of my life, this would be the one. If I lost all my perfumes and had to go out and buy them, this would be the first one I would get. And yeah, I actually have another one of this. I have a backup bottle. This is a 50 ml, and it's taken me quite some time to go through it because I've had so many perfumes come through my door the last couple years. But now that I've finally decluttered my perfumes, I'm finally making more of a dent in my bottles, and I'm about halfway through, and I do have a 100 ml backup in my closet. So once I run through this one, I can dig that one out, and who knows, maybe my perfume collection will eventually get down to 5, who knows, but this would definitely be on that tray. I just cannot imagine not having this perfume in my collection. And if you're looking for a perfume and you don't know where to start and you're just beginning, get this one. So that was it for today's video, you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching and listening today. I hope that the video was okay for you to listen to despite my horribly raspy, sick voice. Thank you for being here. I'll see you all very soon in my next one. Bye for now.